Hi, welcome back to the channel. In this lesson, we will look at equation of a straight line. I will explain the concept of the equation of a straight line. I will make it as simple as possible. After which, we'll use an example to further understand it better. That said, let's get into class. Here is the y-axis and here is the x-axis. The next thing I want us to see is the line. Now, for this line is passing through the origin, but this is not always so. In some cases, you could have the line pass through this way, you could have it pass through this way. Now, but two things are important when looking at the line. The first thing is the gradient of that line, which we always tag as M, and the next thing is the intercept, which we tag as either a C or a B. Now, the equation of a straight line, the equation of any of these lines can be written as y is equals to mx plus c, where m is the gradient that was spoken of, and c is the same thing as the intercept, where this line intercepts the y-axis. Now, this is the point of intercept. Let's call this line 1. If I call this line 1, L1, let me call this line 2. For line L1, here is the intercept. I can refer to this as C1. For line L2, here is the intercept. I can refer to that as C2. And for line L3, let's call this L3, the intercept is at 0. So with this, we can define any straight line. Now, let's talk about the gradient. For the gradient m, for m is defined as the rate of change of y with respect to x. That is, if I want to talk about n, I'll be picking 2 points on my line. At point 1, I can pick this to be x1, y1, and let's tag here point 2. At point 2, I can pick this to be x2, y2. So now to calculate for my gradient, we'll be saying that my rate of change will be y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. Now, so here I'll be able to define for my gradient. So if I'm given any 2 points, I can easily define the equation of a straight line. Let's take an example. Now, our example says we should find the equation of the line which passes through these 2 points. Point A is at 7 and 2, and point B is at 9 and minus 8. Now, the first thing I want us to do is to sketch the line. If I sketch the line this way, this will be my y-axis, while here is my x-axis. So that, let me use the scale of 2. Here will be 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. The negative side too, I'll have 2, 4, 6. But these are negative, negative, negative. For the y-axis, this will be 2, 4, 6, 8. On the negative side, we have minus 2, minus 4, minus 6, minus 8, and minus 10. Now let's pick the first point. The first point is at x 7 and 2. 7 and 2. Here is positive 7 on the x-axis. The x-axis is positive 7, that's here, and the y-axis is positive 2. For my B is at positive 9 and minus 8. So my straight line should begin to look like this. Now, the first thing I want to do for this question is to find the gradient. Remember, my gradient will come from m is equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, my gradient now will come from let's pick b as 0.2, so that will be minus 8 minus 2 over 9 minus 7, which is equals to minus 10 over 2. So that my m invariably is the same thing as minus 5. If m is minus 5, then we can now define the equation for this straight line using any of the 2 points. I want us to work with point A first. Working with point A is at 7 and 2. So that my y minus 2 over x minus 7 will be the same thing as minus 5. Now y minus 2, if we cross multiply, will be the same thing as x minus 7 into minus 5. Y minus 2 will now be the same thing as minus 5 plus 35. Now the equation wants us to present it in this format. So to arrange it in that format, okay, this is 5 times x, this is minus 5x. I'll have minus 5x coming to the other side becomes positive 5x plus y minus 2 minus 35 is equals to 0. This is the same thing as, let me just write it out here, 5x plus 7 minus 37 equals 0. Now, that's the equation. I want us to try it using the second point B to show that we get the same answer. My B, remember, is at this point 9 and minus 8, and my M is the same thing as minus 5. So that y now minus 8 over x minus 9 will be the same thing as minus 5. So that this is y plus 8 will be the same thing as minus 5 into x minus 9. Y plus 8 will be the same thing as minus 5x plus 45. Now let's arrange it in the acceptable format so that 5x comes to the other side still becomes 5x plus y plus 8 minus 45, which is equals to 0. So our 5x plus y minus 35 equals 0. Let's compare it with our first answer. Oh, sorry. 8 minus 45, that's minus 37, not 35. So comparing it, I have 5x plus y minus 37 equals 0. And here also, we have 5x plus 7 minus 37 equals 0. With this, I hope you understand how to find the equation of a straight line. In our subsequent class, we'll take more examples. Thank you for staying with us and see you in our next class.